Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope your day is starting off really, really well. We've been looking at the story of Jacob in Genesis chapter 28 and how he's on this journey, but he takes a break in this one area later called Bethel. And he has this vision, has this dream of God that is really powerful. Today we want to look at verses 13 and 14. Let me just read it. It says this. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham and the God of your father Isaac. Right there, I look at that part, and this is where I think that maybe Jacob, he doesn't really have this strong relationship with God himself. He would know about God, but he doesn't really have that relationship with God, which can happen to us too, where we have parents who know Jesus, have given their life to Jesus, but that doesn't mean that we have. We just know about it, but do we actually know him? I don't think Jacob knows God. Not by this introduction, right? I am the God of your grandfather Abraham. I'm the God of your father Isaac. You might have heard of me, is almost what I kind of put into that. And then God says, the ground you are lying on belongs to you. I'm sure that's probably pretty encouraging for Jacob because he has no idea it belongs to him. So this land belongs to you. You're going to own this one day. You're going to inherit this one day. The ground you're lying on belongs to you. I'm giving it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions, to the west, in the east, to the north, and to the south. I'm sure that's quite a surprise to Jacob. He's not even married yet, and already God is talking about him having descendants beyond what you can possibly count. So that's a pretty good promise, right? And we know that does take place. But it continues on, it says, and all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. He's given this promise to Jacob, and it's the same promise that he gave to Abraham, the same promise he gave to Isaac. Jacob is inheriting this promise that God is going to use them. He's going to bless them, and he's going to use them to be a blessing to the entire world. That they will be blessed, and for that reason, people will want to know who God is, because they'll be an example of God's goodness and God's grace and God's mercy. But also, they'll be a blessing to the rest of the world because Jesus will come through their family line, who blesses us through his sacrifice on the cross and everything that took place with that we are all blessed because of Jacob's family line, because of his descendants, because of Jesus and what Jesus did on the cross. And I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool that God is grabbing him and saying, I'm going to use you. I'm going to bless you. All the promises you're going to have, and you're going to be amazing, especially when you think of Jacob he's a bit of a scoundrel. He's not really a good guy. He's a guy who steals birthrights. He's a guy who manipulates. He's a guy who lies and does all these things. And God says, yeah, I know, but I'm going to use him regardless of this. So you might be thinking, man, God's made me promises. I've felt promises. I've seen things. It hasn't materialized. What do I do? God hasn't forgot about it. God will make things happen. It's not about who you are. It's about who God is. And God fulfills what he says he's going to do. And he's going to do it through Jacob. So I think that's pretty cool. So have an awesome day and trust in the promises that God has made, because God fulfills his promises. Have a great day.